because I'm unable to afford a ticket.
It just isn't fair, and I don't think it's constitutional.
I want to get out of this situation.
What would you do if you were kept from renewing your driver's license until you paid off your traffic tickets? State records show that's the case right now in Texas for nearly 1 million people. And the system has been legal here since the 90s.
KXAN investigator Kelly Wiley reveals how it's keeping people from driving to work, to childcare, to the grocery store, and trapping families in a cycle of debt.
Monica Sanchez chose to work at the gas station walking distance from her home. If she did drive to a job, she would be risking jail time. She can't drive because the state of Texas will not let her. The mother of two did not do something like drive drunk. She was not involved in a hit and run. She simply did not pay her traffic tickets.
I can no longer go pick up my kids from school. If they need a ride, I either have to organize like a Lyft to go get them, or ask a friend to go get them, or they have to ask one of their friends for a ride, but I can't do that.
Court records show it started when Sanchez got a speeding ticket in Guadalupe County in 2015. When she didn't show up for court or pay the $342 ticket, the judge added another $392 fine and told the Texas Department of Public Safety to deny the renewal of her driver's license until she paid. The judge even issued a warrant for her arrest.
I went in to renew my license on my birthday, or around my birthday, about 1.5 years ago in May. And when I was expecting to get my license in the mail, I got a letter from DPS instead stating that my license had been suspended because I had so many tickets that were still outstanding. And to be honest with you, I had completely forgotten about those tickets. I really didn't even remember that I had some of them.
DPS records show Sanchez at one point owed more than $1,000 in tickets and court costs.
I started crying because I didn't have the money. I wasn't working at the time. I didn't know what I was gonna do.
A third-party company called OmniBase tracks every time a judge orders the state to deny a driver's license renewal. And when it does, there's another fee. It's a part of the state's failure to appear and pay program. DPS records show right now through OmniBase, Texas courts ordered nearly 1 million people have their driver's license renewal denied, all because they failed to appear in court and pay misdemeanor fines. Once in the system, drivers could face more expensive fines and even jail time. Even when they come to court or start payment plans, judges can still hold their license until the entire debt is paid. Representative Diego Bernal has repeatedly filed bills to make it illegal for judges to jail Texans over traffic-related tickets. Those bills all failed. This session, after our questions, he's taking a closer look at OmniBase.
It's a way to essentially criminalize people for not having any money or not having enough money, for being poor.
While the district he represents includes San Antonio, one of the heaviest users of the state's failure to pay program, other large governments like Harris County and the city of Austin canceled their contracts with OmniBase as recently as 2020, citing the financial trap and legal risk.
Why does the state use a system that some of your largest areas won't? Because they say it's problematic.
Yeah, I mean, part of it, I think, with any tool is how it's used, right? You have this small issue. They use OmniBase. It compounds your violations. And all of a sudden, that plus this means you'll never get out of it.
With her wages from the gas station, Sanchez is slowly earning back her ability to drive.
Not having a vehicle because of my kids has been the hardest.
How do you think they feel? Do you think they're
understanding? Like, my kids are so cool. They understand. And like, if I can't give them a ride, they're cool, they're okay, you know? And it just hurts because as a mom, you want to be able to do all of that. They're the reason why I want to get out of this situation. I didn't think I was going to cry.
It's okay.
The state of Texas had a hold on Emily Culp's driver's license for over a decade.
2, 3. Wow, I really got a lot of tickets.
On the orders of the judges, she was not allowed to renew her license until she paid all her traffic tickets.
I couldn't afford a lawyer at all at that time. I'd just gotten divorced and I was penniless.
In 2021, OmniBase records showed she owed more than $5,000 in fines and fees. Many of the most expensive fines were for when she was driving after a judge put a hold on her license.
I ended up getting pulled over for one of my headlights being out. And I thankfully just got a ticket for that. And I also got a ticket for driving with license invalid on my way to work one morning. And then I couldn't do it anymore. So that's too scary.
And then you just stopped driving altogether.
Over the years, the hold on Culp's license also led to several arrests for driving without a valid license and warrants for not showing up to the court to address her tickets.
Jail is terrifying. It's terrifying. I never thought I would be somebody that was in jail with next to murderers for not paying a ticket.
Judge Nicholas Chu is a justice of the peace in Travis County.
Forcing somebody to resolve their case because I have their driver's license and you can't get it renewed and you can't go to your job until you plead guilty and resolve it, that's usually the quickest way, just isn't fair, and I don't think it's constitutional.
Chu says many judges follow what he considers best practices, using OmniBase notifications as a way to get defendants to just appear in court. If they show up, he often drops the hold on their license.
Some courts have gotten into certain practices, and those practices led to, number one, not waiving Omni holds or due to indigency. In other words, if you're too poor to afford the fines and fees.
In a 2020 quarterly report from OmniBase, Texas judges reported that happening in less than 1% of cases. While that's just a snapshot of data, it's unclear whether all judges reported accurately, and OmniBase has not responded to our interview requests.
Do you think there's room to reform it, to create set laws for how municipal judges and JPs can use the system?
Using it as a weapon, right, doesn't help anybody. Using it as an accelerant, almost a guarantee that they end up with greater fines and possibly for a lot of them who can't afford to pay behind bars, that's not the reason why you should have any element of government.
For the first time in a long time, Culp has no outstanding fines hanging over her. She can finally get her driver's license, but says the system has made her hesitant.
I haven't done it yet because I'm scared.
Why are you scared?
It's really scary, being arrested for things that you never think that you would be. Nobody tells you that when you're on the side of the road, and people driving by and you're, leaning over the police car in handcuffs, nobody thinks that person is not a bad guy. Like, oh, the police got the bad guy, They don't think, oh, they just got a traffic ticket that they couldn't afford.
OmniBase is headquartered in Austin, but Texas is not the only state to use holds and suspensions on license renewals to force drivers to pay traffic tickets. One justice nonprofit reports more than 30 states have laws like this. DPS tells us it doesn't provide oversight of Texas judges who use OmniBase. It only collects the data for its driver's license division. But the agency's current contract says it will pay a maximum of $50 million by 2024 for that use.
Okay, so the judge and the lawmaker in your story, they want to reform this system, but who supports it?
Well, more than 1,000 Texas courts have used OmniBase, and we spoke to a handful of judges who use it as a collection tool. The Texas Municipal Courts Association has also testified in support of it and said any changes would limit judges' ability to use jail time as a tool to deal with Class C misdemeanors and traffic-related offenses. Take a look.
I think that any law has room for improvement. And so if there are things that we can do to improve it, I don't think that's ever a bad idea in looking at them. So often, however, there are unintended consequences of bills and of changes and amendments.
And we have more about possible changes to the law in our full story online. Plus, find out how often your city or county uses this system in this story in the investigative section of KXAN.com. Kelly, thank you.